Hello, everyone, and welcome to Counselor Ear Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In this feature, we're going to talk about adding start and end dates to insurance policies, as well as how to manage inactive insurance policies. So we're going to start here within a patient's profile in the Policies tab. And we can see here in this example, we have one active policy and one inactive policy. Just take a closer look there. When we look at the inactive policy, we of course can see in the status that this is set as inactive. Pretty straightforward. But we're going to see in a little bit how this can be used during the claim process, even though this policy is inactive. But what I want to do next is jump back to our policies screen here and go into the active policy. You may have noticed this with the past policy I was just in, but there is the ability to set a start and end date for every policy. This allows you, of course, to track, if relevant, start and end dates. Now, you may have a start date, but no end date, right? You don't have to, or vice versa. You do not have to have both, but there's just an extra tool that lets you track this information. And then apply that when we get to the claims screen. So I'm going to jump ahead here into a claim. All right, let's go ahead and get a claim started. And we're going to jump straight away to the insurance tab. Here we can see there's the active policy, right? And that's the only one on the list. With this one, we can see the start and end dates, right? The same dates we just saw a moment ago. So just a heads up, if perhaps there are multiple policies for a patient and you have any questions as to which policy may be relevant, right? On top of that, you can also include an active in this list. So you could say, all right, I want to see those policies that have now been made inactive. And there we go. There is that other policy we were looking at a moment ago. Now, this scenario may most commonly come up if you work with Medicaid patients, but certainly maybe other times, other insurers as well. And the primary use case would be you are creating a claim for services or products that were provided prior to a policy becoming invalid, right? But prior to the end date. But you're creating that claim after the fact. So maybe the end of the year, perhaps you're creating a claim, you saw the patient on the 29th of December, and you're creating that claim on January 5th, right? You may have an end date. You may have set that policy as inactive because maybe it isn't as of the 1st, but this enables you to still access that policy and proceed with creating the claim because, of course, the services were performed in the time when the policy was valid. Okay, so a couple of these little tools hopefully give a little more flexibility to the claims process, not only from just a transparency standpoint, but also making sure that you can submit claims for the right payer when it's the right time for you to do so. All right, if you have any questions about this, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for today's Counselor Ear Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.